Welcome. Welcome to Lady Rose Queendom. Gather round, tell a friend. Everybody sing. Welcome to Lady Rose Queendom, where we nurture, cultivate, and awaken your inner queen. Clap your hands, stomp your feet. Welcome to Lady Rose Queendom. Lady Rose Queendom. Well, Lady Rose Queendom. Lady Rose Queendom. Come on, Lady Rose Queendom. Lady Rose Queendom. Lady Rose. Lady Rose. Lady Rose. Your crown is waiting.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Lady Rose Queendom, where we nurture, cultivate, and awaken your inner queen. Oh my God. Thank you guys for meeting me down here on this Sunday afternoon. I saw this online and I thought it was worth talking about. I think there's a lot going on in America and in our world, and we need to stay abreast of what's happening. I truly believe that. Hey, living for me. Good evening. How are you doing? Doing okay. Anywho, let's go over our little pleasantries real quick. Let me take this down. All things in this video, all things that I say, all things I talk about, they're all alleged, in my opinion, and they're all for entertainment purposes. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. And if you want to know when I'm going live, please tap that notification bell and click it to all. Notify me of all things. All right. Fair use disclaimer: some material used in this video is used under U.S. copyright, fair use, Section 107, for purposes such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, and education. Today, we're going to talk about some news reporting, some education, some commentary, and a whole lot of criticism. This young lady right here, her name is Mckenna West, and she lives in Alaska. She used to live in Alaska. She's a resident of Alaska. Yes, yes. Please hit that like button. Please, please comment. Please share. Please subscribe. Hey, Chaz, Heron. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, Symmetry. How y'all doing? Y'all, I saw this story this morning, early this morning, as I was preparing for church. You saw it too, Symmetry? I'm glad I'm not alone. And I thought it was worth talking about. Young lady by the name of Mckenna West. Thank you so much. Thank you for liking the live. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I am trying to grow this channel, and I appreciate everybody. Trust me, I do. I appreciate everybody for stopping by and watching. Thank you for the jewels. How sweet of you, Elliot. This a surrogate is at the center of a legal battle as she tries to protect the life of a baby boy that she's carrying. After the couple that hired her told her to abort the baby following a serious but treatable prenatal diagnosis that she refused to do. And now, 3 months later, she's fighting to ensure that the baby receives life-saving care when it's born. I think this is so, so, so important. And the reason why I think this is important, because I think as we enter into a world where we see more IVF and more surrogates, and things of that nature, I think it's important to know what lies ahead of women who choose to be surrogates. I think, they sign contracts, there are attorneys present, but I think that it's important that we all know, if you are of childbearing age and you want to be a surrogate, you need to know exactly what the surrogacy entails. So this is what we're going to talk about today. Also, one of the things I want to know is, do you think that maybe surrogacy is playing God? I don't know. I think that there's a lot of things that could be said about it. I think it's a beautiful thing because it does allow people who can't traditionally get pregnant and have children to able to have children. And it also helps people who are unable to, women especially, who are unable to carry children, be able to have their own DNA or their own biological children. So I think it's a great thing, but I also wonder, hello, my Holly, hello, Abby, and hello, Mary. Thanks for joining the live. Hi, Cecilia and Allie. How are you guys doing today on this beautiful Sunday? It's a beautiful Sunday. Beautiful. It's a little hot outside, but it's a beautiful Sunday otherwise. So I really want you to think about those things. So is being a surrogate playing God? Is IVF playing God? Um, we all do know the complications that we normally deal with. Y'all hit that thumbs up button, please. Subscribe. We know the things that women deal with, just being pregnant without going through IVF and being a surrogate. So either way it goes, it is always pretty tough for women to have children. So this story actually kind of resonated with me because I think it's something that we all need to talk about. Hello, transition. Hello, shrub. Welcome to the queendom. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's get into it. The backstory. This young lady's name is Mckenna West. Mckenna is a single mother of 2 young children, and she is a nurse. She lives in Alaska. She became interested in becoming a surrogate after hearing about her friend's positive experiences. Surrogacy, she felt, would provide benefits for her family as well as another family. For West, it sounded like the perfect option. And she's talking to Live Action News, which is where I got the story from. She said she thought being a surrogate would be really awesome, an awesome way to make extra income for her family, not to have to take extra time away from her kids, and to get to provide a family with an amazing gift of having a child. And she said she felt it would be a rewarding route to take. In February of 2025, which was last year, West applied to Worldwide Surrogacy and received preliminary approval based on her medical history. Following a physical, she was shown a profile of a couple whom she felt would be a good match for her. The agency showed West's profile to the couple, and they are known as AB and CD in court documents. And they agreed to meet with her via Zoom. She said it felt like a perfect match. The conversation was good. It felt exciting for both of them. She said we agreed that we wanted to move forward and told the agency, and then took the next steps to move forward from there. After going a psychiatric evaluation, West traveled to the couple's home state to get medical clearance from their IVF doctor via a physical and lab work. Now I must pause and say that the couple, she lived in Alaska, but the couple who she was caring for lived in California. She underwent a procedure to remove small polyps from her uterus, and the IVF doctors requested at the IVF's doctor's request, and was then prepared for an embryo transfer. West became pregnant, and after the baby's heartbeat was heard on the first ultrasound, she was given a due date of September 2nd of 2026. At the start, she underwent weekly labs and ultrasounds, and everything was going well with the pregnancy. Then, during the anatomy ultrasound, everything changed. She said, I was 20 weeks. AB and CD were on FaceTime call after the ultrasound. The doctor came in and told them that there was something really wrong with the baby's heart. There was no blood flow through the left side of the heart. She said she wasn't qualified to give a diagnosis, and I needed to be and of course, this is Mckenna speaking. She said I needed to be referred to a MFM, a maternal fetal medicine doctor, for another ultrasound. So the couple, AB and CD, were very upset. And she said it was completely unexpected because everything had been going so well. So she said there had been no signs of anything being wrong at all. All genetic testing was normal. And she said the same day, West was able to see the MFM doctor, the maternal fetal medicine doctor, who diagnosed the baby, who West was, she now calls Gabriel, with hypoplastic left heart syndrome, or HLHS. So once the baby was diagnosed and she was notified of the results, um, AB and CD decided they wanted to have a conversation about ending her pregnancy, right? It was during the conversation with the MFM that West said AB brought up the question of terminating the pregnancy. West told Live Action News that by the end of that appointment, she felt panic that AB and CD were going to request a termination of the pregnancy. She said, I knew that I didn't want to have to go through a termination. She said, I didn't want this for the baby, for his life to be cut short. And I must add in also, she's 20 weeks pregnant at this time. So this will be a late term termination. After she was matched with AB and CD, the contract she signed with them included a clause that would require her to terminate the pregnancy in the event of any abnormalities within the baby, right? Lala said that can't happen. I agree with you. I think that for a surrogate mother, this has to be tough. But let's keep talking about it. Although West expressed concern, the agency told her that such situations are rare. So, although that clause was in her contract, she had been told by the agency that normally that isn't what happens, right? We don't normally have this happen, but in case the situation arises, the biological parents do have that right. According to The Atlantic, the vast majority of surrogacy contracts include a clause allowing the couple or person hiring the surrogate to decide whether to terminate the pregnancy. Surrogates.com says surrogates can't not legally be forced to terminate the pregnancies, but refusing to do so would put them in a breach of their contract, and they would risk losing the money they were receiving. So now she's in the midst. Mckenna, this beautiful lady on this picture, is in risk of being in breach of her contract and then losing money as well, right? But I believe that she's actually thinking more, Mckenna's thinking more about the health of the baby than she is about money and about her own health as well. Because there are some side effects and things that you go through as a woman when you do terminate a pregnancy on your own, a voluntary termination, right? But at 20 weeks, this baby is pretty much developed, but it's now growing, right? So, you develop your fingers, they develop their spine and all those things. But at this point, this baby has a viable heartbeat. It just may not be as part of the heart is not working. We'll just put it that way. And I agree. You said Monica is fighting her. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. This whole story is wild. West asked the agency if there was anything they could do to help the couple with costs regarding the care the baby would need, so that they didn't feel like they had to choose to terminate the baby for financial reasons. She shared positive stories of babies that have the HLHS, including someone else that she actually knew. She said, and that weekend was awful for her. She spoke with CD and asked if he wanted her to send the latest ultrasound images to them, as she had sent all of the previous ones. He told her they had already removed the baby's 12-week ultrasound image from the refrigerator, and she could mail the 20-week images, but to address the envelope only to him. He did not want his wife to see it. So his wife which is considered AD in this conversation, she didn't want anything to do with this. West shared, I was full of fear and stress of what they were going to choose. I was feeling pretty confident that they were going to choose termination. And how could I possibly live with myself going through that? So she had her own self convictions versus whatever convictions they were going through. She had her own convictions of what she would have to do if she terminated the pregnancy. West researched treatments for HLHS. Ultimately, she found a hospital in Dallas that has a 100% success rate. In recent years, with the first of 3 surgeries that the baby would need, she told the agency she could live with a friend in Texas to mitigate costs to AB and CD. Excuse me, y'all. Then, when the liaison at the agency told her that the couple was concerned about the baby's future quality of life, while those concerns are understandable, the chances of survival and a good quality of life with HLHS are very, very strong. Gabriel would need 3 surgeries: the Norwood procedure shortly after birth, the Glenn procedure at 4 to 6 months old, and then the Fontaine procedure around 2 or 3 years of age. Some patients will ultimately require a heart transplant, although if and when depends on the patient. Kimberly Rippertron, the mother of a now adult son with HLHS, told Live Action News in 2023 that she would not have even considered termination, but doctors painted a bleak picture. Rippertron said, back in 2002, my doctor would have no problems terminating Seth. I never would have considered it. They tell the young moms your child will have a life of hospital, medications, and procedures. Yes, a few meds each day, a few procedures here and there, annual checkups, no big deal. She said, Kimberly said, they told us Seth would be small and frail for his age, would have learning disabilities. She said he's 6'3". He's consistently on the dean's list, seeking summa cum laude, and is majoring in astrophysics. People are terminating these imperfect babies all the time out of fear. Babies who could just be like Seth and his college roommate, which is Tate. So his college roommate actually had the same issue. She said they're thriving and living amazing lives, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. In court documents obtained by Live Action News, West's doctor, Dr. William Lard, explained that he thinks HLHS is likely an isolated cardiac abnormality, but for baby Gabriel, he said Gabriel seems to be a standard risk patient, meaning there's a low risk of operative mortality following the Norwood procedure, which will be the procedure the baby would need immediately after birth. In addition, the court documents point out that baby Gabriel's chances upon receiving the Norwood procedure are good, very good. Yet defendants still refuse to commit to life-saving care. On Monday morning, after the diagnosis, West received the call she was dreading. The liaison for worldwide surrogacy told her that AB and CD had officially requested that she undergo a termination. No doctor in Alaska would commit a termination at nearly 22 weeks of pregnancy. According to court documents, the termination would have been a dismemberment procedure, which means they would have actually dismembered the baby to remove it, right? Which is kind of grotesque to think about. That's just a fact of life. And I think we all should know what this means. I mean, if you're going to do it early, when it's just a dot, it's just a clot of blood. But when you wait till you're 22 weeks, you got a fully formed baby. The document obtained by Live Action News states that Mckenna wrestled with inner turmoil at the thought that the doctors would have baby Gabriel heart injected with a solution that would stop his heart, and then he literally will be ripped apart and dismembered as he's taken from the uterus. McKenna told Live Action News, I had to call the MFM and ask for a referral to a termination center in Seattle. Mind you, she lives in Alaska, which is the closest location that does terminations that far along. And that was really upsetting to her. The termination facility scheduled her for a week later at 23 weeks for the 2-day procedure on April the 28th and the 29th. They required her to bring someone with her, but she had trouble finding someone on such short notice. So, amid pushback from the agency, the termination was rescheduled for May 6th and 7th, when West would be 24 weeks pregnant. So, she had to reschedule because she couldn't find anybody to go with her. And then they had to push it back, and she would be another week. So the baby's still growing and she's still getting bigger and bigger. She says, every time I thought about showing up at the clinic, I became hysterical and I couldn't picture myself reacting or feeling any other way. So I was really scared of how I would view myself as a woman and a mother. How'd I be able to come home to my kids after participating in something like that? And I'm sure it is traumatic. I'm almost positive it's traumatic because I don't know if they put you to sleep for this procedure. But I don't have the means to be sued over this. I'm a single mom. I can't afford lawyers to fight this. I felt like I had no other options, no way out. It was just a horrible feeling. A and D and E not only intentionally and brutally ends the life of a preborn child, but also comes with high risk to the woman, to the pregnant woman. That's what I said. They didn't even take into consideration that McKenna, who was carrying the baby, that the further along she was, and then trying to terminate a pregnancy, that she was at a risk of losing her own life. And there is actually a young lady who, in the last few months, was a surrogate, went through a whole situation, and they tried to do a selective. They wanted to select a certain sex for their child, and the surrogate actually lost her life during that process. So that's why I said, is this playing God? What do we feel about this? She said it also comes with a high risk to the woman than the first trimester termination, including a greater risk of uterine perforation or damage to nearby organs. Then came an unexpected call from West's brother. Remember, her name is Mckenna West. So her brother called her. He said, I don't want you to go through this. I know you don't want to go through this. He said he had talked to his wife. He said, we'll adopt this baby. If it means you don't have to go through this procedure, we will adopt this baby from you, for you. We're here for you. We love you either way it goes. That was a catalyst for her, she said, feeling like I'm not alone. He said, what's the worst that can happen? You and your kids are never going to be on the street, even if they try to take what you don't have. You're not alone in this, McKenna. She said she realized that while the threat of financial ruin was real and scary, the possibility of being bankrupt was far better than having to live with unaliving this baby. Omni said her choice, dumb choice though. I'm telling you, that's why I said, is surrogacy, is it worth it? Is it playing God? Oh, because you don't really get a choice in what happens with your body or with the baby that you're carrying in your belly, which to me is scary. So Omni, I kind of agree with you on that one now. I kind of agree she chose it, but I do agree with her not really wanting to do this. Let me get a swig of water. So McKenna decided to reach out to a friend and podcaster Ellen Fisher, who previously welcomed Live Action founder and president Lila Rose as a guest on her podcast. Within hours, West received a text from Fisher saying that Rose would help her and her children get to Texas to be with the doctors who could save baby Gabriel's life. West told Action News, and I just turned the phone to my mom, and I was like, I don't have to do it, she said through tears. I couldn't believe that within 12 hours of talking to my brother, I was getting these screenshots of Ella's and Leela's text messages or their text exchanges. And I finally felt hopeful. From there, it just blew up. And I think the next day, I was already meeting with some lawyers because she refused to have a termination. A, B, and CD stopped sending West money and wanted her to return the money that they had already paid her, as well as additional damages for failing to terminate baby Gabriel. So now Mckenna is 35 weeks pregnant and she is in Texas. And she says, um, and said she said she's felt an overwhelming sense of peace. A, B, and CD have filed a lawsuit and are instructing West to go to their home state to give birth. See, that's the next thing. They even want to tell her where she can be at when she gives birth to this baby. But they have not stated whether whether they will allow doctors to perform the life-saving surgeries on baby Gabriel, or if they will only provide him with comfort care so that he passes away shortly after birth. Through her attorneys, West agreed to go to California if AB and CD commit to providing Gabriel with the surgery. It appears they have not agreed to this condition, and they have sued West for not going through with the termination. In turn, West has filed for custody of Gabriel so she can allow doctors in Texas to treat him and give him a chance at life. I want to fight for him because he deserves this chance, she said. There's no guarantee. There's not a guarantee with anything, but he deserves a chance of living life outside of my womb. I just really pray he gets that opportunity. She added, I want to get them to commit to the surgery or get parental rights so I can get him surgery. My goal is to get him surgery. A, B, and CD have sought to establish parental rights through a California court, even though the surrogacy agreement states that the law of the state of Alaska shall govern this agreement. The California court granted them a judgment, which West is now appealing on an emergency basis. On Tuesday, the Alaska Superior Court denied a motion to force West to relocate to California to give birth, but also ruled that California court can dictate whether West gives birth and which medical team treats her. Child, ain't that a mess? That's a mess. Now that she doesn't have to go to California to give birth, but they can choose, the AB and CD can choose, or they can dictate where she has the baby at and which medical team gets to treat. They probably haven't done a lick of research. She's done all the research. She knows the doctor she wants to use. She's here at she's in Dallas at Children's Hospital, which they're ready to do the surgery immediately after the baby is born. And they have decided what they want. Child, this is what Alaska was reporting. After the surrogate mother refuses termination, she relocated to Texas so she could deliver the baby at a leading hospital specializing in HLHS. The California couple then tried to force the surrogate mother to give birth in California with the medical team of their choosing. Rather than uphold the Alaskan surrogate mother's rights to make her own medical decision, the Alaskan Superior Court ruled that California has jurisdiction over the birthplace. The court decision ignored the Alaska Department of Law statement of interest, arguing that the surrogate mother's constitutional right to privacy trumps the surrogacy contract. Child, soon, baby Gabriel's life may be in the hands of a California court, which is so sad. Yes, please hit that like button, y'all. Please, please, please. And thank you. Please hit that like button. This is a growing channel. Please thumbs me up and please subscribe if you're new here. West said she is now living through one of the worst case scenarios of surrogacy. I feel like this object. I feel that because they paid me, they have these rights to my autonomy. It's a disturbing thing to be on this side of it and realize how the contracts are so unsupportive of the woman who is going through all of it for somebody else. And to think, oh, because we're paying you, we're demanding this termination. And if you don't do it, you're liable for tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars is really sick and wrong. And this whole thing has greatly changed my perspective on surrogacy. Lincoln Wilson, a partner of First and 14th PLLC, representing West, said, McKenna's case illustrates how an industry that claims to empower women can treat them and the children that they are carrying as mere property. Wilson explained that at the same time, the other side claims to want to parent baby Gabriel, they are suing her for damages for refusing to terminate him. West attorneys say they are proud to represent her in her courageous stand to save his life. West warned women who are considering surrogacy to really think deep about what it could mean, especially for the babies who are brought and seen as commodities. She said, I think it can be interpreted that way. Being purchased and picked and chosen, and you have a disability and you have some diagnosis, and oops, we don't want you. And we want to force this woman who is carrying you to end your life because you're not perfect. It can be a really degrading experience. She added that women should also consider the effects surrogacy can have on children who are created with the intention of taking them from their birth mothers. As she awaits the ruling from the California court, West is grateful for the support she and the baby have received. God has been so evident about it all in the ways He has connected me with people and surrounded me with people who love Him and love life and are completely willing to stand beside me as I go through this. These are moments when I'm overwhelmed, like, how am I going to do this? And other moments of just me and this baby are so well taken care of, and we're not alone at all. She added, there's still so much that's happening and that's going to happen. I can live with this route. I couldn't live with what they wanted me to do. And I really think it's sad that this lady had to deal with this and is dealing with this. It's not over yet. There's a lot going on. Let me remove my overlay because I want to show you guys something. So this is actually what hypoplastic left heart syndrome looks like and what it is. And I will tell you this. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up over here so I can have a bigger picture. It is something very serious. It's super serious. But as we know, that this is actually something that was done years ago and has been a very effective surgery in the last few years. It is actually where it's a rare congenital heart defect in which the left side of the heart is undeveloped. This means that the left ventricle and the mitral valve, the aortic valve, and the aorta are they're too small to pump blood effectively to the body. So the aorta is the biggest. It is the biggest blood vessel in your body, or the biggest artery, because it takes oxygen-rich blood to the body, right? Comes in through the ventricle, goes out through the aorta to the body. So the ventricles are chambers, right? So just think of them as a reservoir, as something just holds blood, and then it goes through the valve, because a valve is a cutoff. That's how I always, when I took anatomy and physiology, that was the one thing I always remembered, is that it's a cutoff. That's how I look at the valves. They're cut off. So it goes to the ventricle, up through the valve, and then up, and then out of the heart, and then from there, it just repeats the cycle. Well, if those valves are not large enough, and if that aorta is too small, it's not pumping enough blood to even get to the body, right? So without it doing that, you just cannot survive. It says hypoplastic left heart syndrome is usually detected during pregnancy or soon after birth. Babies with HLHS depend on blood flow being rerouted through other parts of the heart to survive. There was a movie that came out a few years ago about Blue Baby. What's the name? It's a black guy who actually founded the actual he did the actual surgery. I'm trying to think of his name. It's a the name sounds like a woman's name, and I cannot even think of it. And for some reason, I just lost. StreamYard must be acting up because I cannot see my my comments. Maybe if I put them on the screen, I can see them. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I'm gonna look it up. It's Blue Baby. Blue Baby is what it's called. And there was a surgery. It was a whole movie about it. They used to call it Blue Baby syndrome. And Vivian Thomas was the name of the gentleman who performed the surgery, and he was a black guy. He actually did it on a dog, and it worked. But the doctor who he was working under, because he was a technician, the doctor who he was working under actually took the credit for it. But Vivian Thomas actually was the doctor who did it, and he did it at the Johns Hopkins University in 1944. So this surgery's been around for a while. This isn't anything new. It requires a series of open heart surgeries in the first few years of life. And with early diagnosis, specialized care, and surgeries, many children with HLHS can live long, meaningful lives. HLHS is a complex condition, but with advances in medicine and loving care, children with HLHS can thrive. Awareness, early detection, and continued support make a powerful difference. You guys, I really want y'all to get down in the comment section. I want to continue to talk about this. I think that this entire thing was so worth listening to, reviewing, finding out more about it. I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed reading it because it actually opened up my mind to remember a lot of the anatomy and physiology and what could actually happen, so I could tell others who are considering surrogacy, because I do have friends who are considering it. I'm not gonna say it made me happy, but it enlightened me and my mindset on surrogacy. It actually probably changed it because there's so much that can go into it. I'm not gonna say I'm against surrogacy, but I will say that women need to be careful. We all need to be careful. We need to be careful about what we encourage. We do know that when Roe versus Wade was reversed, that sent it back to the states to decide whether or not you could have termination or not when it comes down to your pregnancies. And I really feel like that with your life hanging in the balance and being in someone else's hands, and then the state telling you no, what does that look like for this woman, right? For Mckenna. What is this? Because she's now in Texas. And what I do know about Texas is that it's illegal in the state of Texas to terminate a pregnancy. So they've actually charged physicians here from other states for sending Plan Bs and all these things over the mail. So I really just wonder what this will entail in the long run, in the interim. We do know she's 35 weeks, couple of weeks, she'll be giving birth to this baby, and the baby will be living outside of her body. I pray that baby Gabriel is able to live a healthy life after he hopefully gets the surgeries. Fingers crossed, prayers to God that they will allow this baby to have open heart surgery. AD and CD, I think, needs to do some soul searching, because I believe that it's important that they give. This is a baby that they said they wanted. And sometimes God gives his hardest battle to his toughest people. And that may be why Mckenna was involved, so that she will be able to navigate the truths and maybe enlighten and open up eyes to other people about what could happen while you carry someone else's child. And I really, truly, truly hope this works out for the best. And I hope it works out for baby Gabriel. Hope to God it works out for baby Gabriel. And he's able to get those open heart surgeries. And hopefully he's able to live a long, prosperous life. Anywho, I want to thank you guys for coming down here and joining me. The good thing is that the surgery at the hospital that Mckenna has chosen has 100% success rate. That says a lot. Says a whole lot. Anywho, thank you for joining me down here today, and I hope you guys have a great evening. I'll be coming back live a little bit later. We're going to probably do a live watch along for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But until then, I'll see you later. Y'all have a great one. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining the Queendom. Until next time, keep nurturing, keep cultivating, and keep awakening the queen within. God bless you. We'll see you next time.